On paper, understandably so. The desk has outlined this here. Vitality should be able to bully Grayhound around the server, but this team have already upset Cloud9. Let's see if they can do it again. Got Rushley and MC on the 1s to 0s.
Dream team on the buttons. Let's see what csgo, INCE, and Liaz can do. Now, will there be a first move? Vexite just investigating and flashing up on short side. That will then facilitate the leap. Boots on the ground now. ZywOo distracted. Good strike out of Vexite. P250. Info. 2, he screams brackets. Spinks, 1 to be cleared out. Gets nothing done. Dupree, though, still lingers and regroups. Kit present. Bomb to be planted. An advantage for this Grayhound pistol start. They can't afford to be falling to this boost. You can see established now. Magisk will have a timer on this now. Dismantles. csgo in pit. And 3 for the retake.
Key here is Magisk with the smoke and the kit here. But time already starting to tick. And I think they've called it off.
Okay.
Retake in towards that A site or the B bomb site, number disadvantage. Never going to be easy. And Vitality not wanting to get stuck in early, allowing Grayhound to keep 4 players alive. This should be very, very easy pickings for the pistol. We can call this one done. Not what I was expecting by any means. I thought, you know, once you get to a stage environment, there's a bit more pressure, an elimination game, you take a few more risks, just like Alistair chasing them away here, making sure they definitely are saving. He's spotted out at least 2 now. That'll be the death of him. A gooch from INCE, and he falls as well. So actually giving over some extra cash. Not the end of the world, but a big pistol round for Grayhound to pick up here on the T-side campaign.
Yeah, fundamentals. I loved it from Vexite. Hits that necessary shot. It's the information that comes with his death as well. Lets Liaz charge down this left side player. Spinks falls, as did the round. Grayhound 1 and a force in response.
Yeah, so the fact that they do have this kit right now is also a scary factor here. But ZywOo's scout, he has been the, I want to say heavy hitter, the only hitter for Vitality so far here in the Challenger stage. And not a swing and a miss just yet, but a scope all the way down and nobody overstepping the mark just yet for Grayhound. INCE, patience being the virtue, takes his time, peers on forward, and they're establishing this map controllers. And it doesn't do an awful lot. Now Mahone mentioned pressuring this B bomb site. Spinks in his previous team, ENCE, in case you're uninitiated, this was not a map that they played. So always discussed as a bit of a pressure point, and if he gets off to a slower start, something that ZywOo might be called over to help plug. Very tiny gap there that ZywOo has scoped on through. Now, mid-control, not Garner just yet. This Famous on the top road. Dupree has been spotted. We'll need to drop on down. And they have a passive crossfire. Now, it's worked for them plenty of times before Vitality, this passive crossfire on the site. I don't have the full guns to do so. Top banana smoked off, rotation for ZywOo coming over. Vexite charging through, looking for the info. That's a bit of a money man play. And they need to head straight now in towards A. csgo onto Dupree, it's just Magisk.
Yeah, Magisk, the cavalry coming fast through spawn. INCE looking to investigate. ZywOo ready and prepared for it. That's a hard shot to hit.
Disjointed.
Just a slither one. INCE now down. Magisk still has the sight. They're running out of time and options, especially when you hit shots like that. Magisk, a big one into Liaz, and Grayhound just crumble. It's only Alistair alone. 3 to find a 1v4 in front of him and a horribly intimidating smoke. He wants to go and investigate, doesn't find it. Yeah, he's got the gap closing behind him as well. Apex Spinks are partnered up. Alistair opting for the deagle and taking the fight. That was an oddball move. Not interested in trying to get that bomb down, have them run him down. And so Vitality, yes, straight back.
It's a bad one to lose right there, and the word I used was disjointed. Look at all these kills, they're individual. Now, they sent Vexite into B for information, but were unable to strike together as a pack here. And you can see it was conceded by Alistair. As soon as he throws the Galil away onto the roof, he knows he's given up the round right there. So, rough one. That plant would have been great. He could have punched in the digits, or at least tried to, given them some extra cash to work with going into the force bind for round number 3. But, well, this is not a good start for Grayhound by any means, but if you're a Vitality fan, this is exactly what you're looking for.
Which they haven't necessarily been getting an awful lot of as a Vitality fan as of late.
Yeah, we can recap some of those losses. Hasn't been looking fantastic. They lost to Gamer Legion on Vertigo and Outsiders on Overpass. Their only win came against Imperial, who have already been eliminated from the event. Yeah, full banana control here. Bomb all the way back towards T-stairs. So you can see there's no clear intent from Grayhound just yet. They're hoping somebody gets a little bit over picky. These Deagles might be able to strike. Nade towards top mid, well placed.
Whoa, big chunk of damage. Vexite trying his luck and toying with Dupree. Undaunted and unscathed. Gets himself away. Just peppering onto the apartment's presence, slowly conceding control when he sees fit. Good placement of the nade. Might be able to get an angle over the top. The nade finishes the job ZywOo started. And running out of options now for Grayhound, trying to break through this defense.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. If it was Apex and Spinx in opposite positions here, I'm sure Apex would have pushed all the way down to T-stairs by now. So this one here, it's hard to see them hit bangers entering the side. Another round that feels like it's going to fall apart and without too much traction or damage.
Yeah, Majeski really kind of made a name for himself in this position. Years have passed, still a demon on it, and 2 from that pit hold. Vitality will find their second round. Greyhound's force falls flat.
And here's the thing, that round from Vitality, I know it's more of an anti-eco, a traditional style round, playing somewhat passive across the map. That banana control a little bit of a different flavor. But they can just play that type of Counter-Strike and they should win. They have all the experience, they have ZywOo, and then the pedigree of the players across the board is levels above what Greyhound have to offer here. And on a map like Inferno, it's difficult for them to get into the thicker things in the same way as like a Dust 2 when they upset that of Cloud9. So this is not going to be easy. It might be a blowout over 2 maps here, if we're going to be honest.
So would you frame a win condition for Greyhound is that ZywOo doesn't get company over the course of this best of 3?
Yeah, look, if the support isn't there and everybody else is still quite flat, this is just going to be a mop up here, short, a couple casualties, but still the mop and Bucket out to play. Yeah, if the support network isn't there and it is just ZywOo and they're able to isolate these B defenders like Mahone highlighted, if they're able to, you know, if Magisk and Dupree on this A crossfire isn't going down, love is in the air.
The whole crowd giving you a pat on the back for that one.
See everybody having fun here today. Now, no Brazilian representation. I think it's easy to be a fan of Vitality based off of the history of this team. Right? Not the underdogs, but one of the best players in the world in the server right now and in fine form. That's entertainment right there. Yeah,
then you throw in, of course, that Astralis core that did legendary things that no other team has done in the history of Counter-Strike, and that, of course, combined with that generational talent that is ZywOo. It's an easy team to get behind. Of course, hasn't been easy for them. That interview Dupree gave ahead of this one, it was just riddled with doubt.
Yeah, it doesn't fill us with much confidence here, especially going up against a Greyhound, but it is showing they're respecting all of their opponents and understanding the issues are internal, right? So this is where they can focus. Hey, look, the resistance might not necessarily be on the other side of the server. We need to figure it out ourselves. Now, the first gun round, Alistair into the AWP. A Galil for Vexite, that's one of the concerning factors here. This young gun, he's very sharp. Would love to see an AK in his hands, but burn damage onto Apex. Trickled on down. Sicko does find the opening here. An overzealous Magisk in towards the boiler will be the first casualty of round number 5.
And no knee-jerk trade back. There was a little contact on Banana, but they will be able to advance now with that man advantage.
This is the perfect time to try and punish Banana and B, right? And really see what this setup has, because we know that Vitality love a bit of a gamble, love a bit of an over-rotation and a snack. We've seen a lot of this in the second half of the year. Apex has tucked himself towards Graveyard on, well, Grave HP, but this is great for ZywOo. The crossfire set up with Dupree, and there's the mop. And Sicko with another good trade. They know where the AWP is now.
He's done a lot to keep Greyhound in this round. Puffing up their chest. Sicko, 2 must-hit frags found, and Spinx, don't forget, still isolated.
Now, if you have a look, they've got the smokes available for a B execute here. Spinx only with a flash to his name. And playing over towards CT tells me if they execute, he might even opt for the save in this situation. We've seen them be quite hesitant to go for rounds from the pistol.
He's having a look. He wants to see if there's anything free or uncontested he can find. Now, that might mark his absence of commitment. Smoked off, unloads his mag and starts to maneuver back. The bomb maneuvers through. Alistair finding that perfect premium plant spot. And now I think, yeah, as you highlighted, just going to be looking to see if they can catch anything of an overextension. Vexite not going to move out of Nubox, has no reason to, and so Greyhound, a lovely remedy, with 4 still standing, a conversion.
And around where Sicko gets 2 kills, right? This is an individual that we're expecting to see towards the top of the scoreboard. The New Zealand representation here in the server for Greyhound, stepping up in a big way. And a tidy round, not a chaotic one, not one where it's screamy. We're running up Banana, and it's 50-50 Jules. Fights that they win out and handle neatly. That
setup you were talking about in apps as well, I mean, that is a hard one to crack, no? AWP on the tight line, rifle wide.
How often do you see ZywOo miss?
Yeah, touche.
And that round could have been completely different if they were able to open up that exchange. So, well handled from Greyhound and keeping this one to a 1-round game.
Good to see some Vitality jerseys in the crowd. Definitely have the majority over that of Greyhound, but Greyhound already inspired many with their first win of the Major. both them and IHC managing to flip the script to a degree, but will they be able to push Vitality? We'll find out, of course, over the course of this best of 3. Good start, though. Keeping it up, keeping their neck above water against this Vitality defense. Zai, we throw in a rather calculated smoke. We'll have a slight slither in order to catch a very common spot to line up your smokes, your nades. Towards Banana, though, the first battle ensues. You can see, cocked the flash for Apex's call when he feels hot water or hot lead out of the nades, leaves them on 10 HP. You might want to get out of there now. Yeah, that utility should facilitate a retreat. Vexite might have him locked in here. Spinks might have to bail him out. There's the opener. A big one from Vexite. Grayhound again with an opening frag.
Good understanding of the situation. Info play back to pre-calls mid-clear. The over-rotation available right now, but the bomb still on the deck. Plenty of time for this as Liaz and Sicko investigate Boiler and Halls. The other 3 poised towards the top of Banana. So choices plentiful for Grayhound right now. This time Spinks has opted to play in the site. So if they do finish B, he will be standing and fighting.
And I love this util up A. It will keep those feet planted, and it puts so much now riding onto Spinks. If he can find one for free, get away, reposition, keep that B site under Vitality rule, you might channel him into the stack. Bomb yet to be committed. It will have to start maneuvering now, about 40 seconds as it's picked up onto the back of ENCE. Dupree on his own move, and Liaz looking the wrong way. Trade is there. Advantage held. Time sensitive.
So I was going to flash here. Might activate Spinks. Sicko needs to hit this shot, and he can't. They have to go B now.
Yeah, and that flash has been put through. Spinks aggressive through the smoke, kept level.
They know Zai was here.
Not the perfect weapon for the job. He knows time on his side. The run boost across. Alistair does manage to beat the cross from Magis, but that's just a little bit of a slip up. You don't have the time for this. You'll get run down. Surely Zai will stop this before it gets out of hand. One to the bottom. And Vitality handle business.
Questionable decisions in that one there, but some cool shades here. You mentioned some jerseys. Yeah, it's strange to see. You know, it's curious to see who the crowd is going to be supporting in different scenarios, right? I think the 0-0 Nation jersey is very similar to the Vitality jersey, so that's quite easy. Maybe just change the logo.
Yeah, we can just get a sticker on top.
Whack it on, and away we go. But that one there, Greyhound did a good job to trade back and forth, but Vitality, they didn't seem too threatened by that situation.
You had legs, just didn't quite pull it across the line. So, a return with a slightly less than idyllic buy. It's Tech-9s, it's conservative.
2 nades here, likely to go towards that pit position. Magisk isn't there at the moment, currently up in towards the hall, so might miss the mark.
Some pace now. Dupree calling for aid, and it's a nice supportive spray. The Flames take 2, Zaiwu a third, and blocked it off. Not bad, Vexite gets away with murder. Unable to retrieve it, but a casualty nonetheless.
Give him an upgrade, he might be able to find another kill, but surely that's all he'll have to his name. Into a Tech-9. This kid's sharp, but not the type of rounds looking to get much done. Spinks will finish him off and make this a 3-round game, 5-2. Pretty pedestrian stuff so far. You know, it hasn't been anything crazy just yet. Now we have closest to the screen here, Liaz, the most experienced member in this team, headed to a semi-final of a major.
Yeah, it just doesn't land on my ears. Naturally, Liaz, the most experienced member. I remember when he was the exciting young one. I mean, maybe I'm just aging myself, but yeah, wow. Sicko, Vexite, Alistair, and ENCE alongside for the ride. Grayhound looking to post their 3rd attacking round. Don't forgetting the pistol was theirs as well. Protocols established. They actually want to contest that early deep banana smoke and cost them a great deal. Yeah, well, that's what happens. You're in the hurt locker. Smoke behind you, molly in front of you, and nades right on top of you. ENCE, a 7th death. And Spinks is catching these timings. That's lovely from him. Just strafes out into the action, posts his 2nd frag. And Vitality given this one on a silver platter now.
Risk had to be taken there, but as they regroup, going through the chicken pit, Alistair still poised mid with the AWP. They'd have to hope to get given a kill, and Vitality aren't the team who needs to overstep the mark on their CT defense on Inferno. So back towards B with a likely execute here. Smokes available. CT and coffins. There's even a Molotov for the triple box and flashes to boot.
You can see this is so established from Vitality. Apex and Spinks, they know what is needed of them. A slither gap, he calls for it. Yep, hits his crouch key. Spinks to drop the util, and they will just push through. Surging into the site, Alistair posts up. Spinks, he's already on for a third and gets it done. Apex now just for the cherry on top, but loses his head. And now the round's up for debate. csgo and Liaz partner up, bomb is down. dupreeh considering a walk through the smoke, ZywOo to facilitate. Flash pops, Liaz needed that one, trade is there, csgo can. But will he find the 1v2? So much time, they'll partner up. Turns the nades, takes the fight. Oh. ZywOo, very quick on the draw there.
Yeah, the fact from csgo to have the heads-up maneuver to try and weasel his way in towards that smoke, change the angle was anticipated. Not going to get past ZywOo here, who's having a decent start to the game. 7 kills, 3 deaths. You got dupreeh at the top of the scoreboard, and maybe that flat face was for a reason. Now you're seeing the energy in the server. 12 kills for him.
18 majors, Chad. That's a whole lot. Don't have enough fingers to count the amount of majors this man has attended. Every single one.
Okay, back into this cycle. The washing machine. Guns into pistols, and if they can't continue to get plants, that will be the name of the game. Flash forward, fight coming. Spinks not isolated at all. They're just going to lock this one down. Alistair finds something, but Apex is still alive. The cavalry's on its way, and they're toast. Okay, hold up.
Well,
they're in.
It's toast, but there is a bit of butter. Ah! On top, what? That is creamy, cheeky, not another. Alistair has suddenly made a round out of this. 4 kills. And there's only one more to find. dupreeh close on sight. ENCE in support. Grayhound have been given a real gift here from the gifted Aussie. And dupreeh perhaps overthinking this. He's heading back to A. He assumes they'll be trying to avoid him. And it's a red carpet run to get that bomb down. ENCE still suspicious, understandably so, but dupreeh has burrowed all the way to the other side of the map. And then still not planting.
dupreeh's rotating back now. He's had time to go towards A, get into Graveyard, decide it won't be that finish, and rotate back through CT spawn to address this. This could still fall apart for Grayhound.
I don't even know who's overthinking more. 30 seconds, and it's just dead silent.
Look at all the nades he has as well to disrupt this. dupreeh can win this round.
So many nades. You want to get that bomb down. A little bit of a hint in the form of a nade. dupreeh heads back to A, and now Grayhound have it right in front of them.
The pendulum swinging back and forth, but here he comes. This incendiary could be perfectly placed.
They've opted to take the fight in unison. You can see from different elevations, they will take the fight as he rounds that corner. Trying to make it as impossible for the Dane to isolate these 1 versus 1 duels. A miracle round out of Alistair. Started with Tech 9s. Can they finish with the rifle? It's the ace for the Aussie. And he likes that very much. Daylight robbery, a 3rd round.
That's a happy little Vegemite right there. What a round out of him. Started with on toast.
Whew.
Ended burnt for Vitality. Let's see this one again. So Spinks isolated. He jumps on in. This one's stylish.
Oh,
the hops
lovely.
With the headshot, and then the M4 comes out through the smoke. Takes a risk, gets the kill. That one is magic, and ZywOo, he hits the deck as well. The ace for Alistair here.
Oh man, that looks like it feels good. And this is where you got to try and hold on to your hats, folks, because it looks like Vitality are pissed.
Yeah, they didn't like that one very much. The Hive's been rumbled. A quick play down Banana does free up a big rotation point. ZywOo's AWP now trained over towards that half wall. dupreeh and Magic just have to hold on while that rotation point comes back. You can see highlighted here that they have some fantastic defensive positions on that site. They're not playing forward in towards mid, so the trade potential difficult for Grayhound. And well, time's already ticked on down. We still have a minute on the clock, and stepping past the line of sight. Shot fires off. That is actually a bucket load of information right now for ENCE to call with.
You can see the call's been made. Yeah, immediate pivot. Alistair's on the move. Apex. Ooh, a bit hectic on the spray. Partnered up with Spinks as well. So that B defenders have just parked the AWP and focusing their attentions here on this library side. Long flash. Good one from Spinks. And the second to really secure the round. That extra firepower Spinks brings, it's apparent.
Might have to be the save call here. Still plenty of time on the clock, but have nothing to work with. Last round was a miracle. This one from a different world, as you can see them starting to back on off towards the second mid. Apex gets caught very off guard, but I think he was using himself as bait here. He will secure the fact that they are holding on to these 2 rifles, and that buy in the previous round meant that Grayhound had a little bit of extra cash to work with. So we should see them get into another buy coming forward. But here it is. This is the round starter and what was essentially the round closer because of the rotations that are freed up over towards this A site. Spinx and Apex both able to be protect the first letter of the alphabet. And that'll be it. 7-3 now.
Well, not a lot of fun for them to be having here in round 11. Might want to find a little bit of a leveling of the finances. 2 saved rifles. They did it on Tech 9s, but I don't know if you can really call upon Asta to replicate.
No, they can buy here, right? There's enough money to get the drops out, and that's probably what they're having this second time out to discuss. Exactly who's going to drop what utility we're going to have available here, and what poor Sicko is going to have to buy. So for him, it could be into a Mac 10 or something a little bit lighter here. Unless I'm missing something dropped on the ground right now. And he has a bad spawn. He's at back of the pack. So if, you know, he had a Mac 10, he might be able to operate quite swiftly up that banana, try and open things up. He has been dropped a gun from Alistair. So rifles across the board looking likely here. Yeah, so a Galil into his hand.
That works.
Yeah, and they've been able to get out a strong-looking buy off the back of that save. But they cannot lose Vexite in the opening stages of that banana challenge. And ZywOo again wanting to be tricky with it.
Oh, Vexite's got his own tricks up his sleeve. Straight through, across, ahead of Apex. Perhaps they can combine. He's lost his jewel. It's a good trade back. Keeps him level in this tug of war that is banana control. Spinx currently isolated. He wants to puff up his chest, appear more than he is. And if you were to dare try and fight for this mid control, you can see the established Vitality hold, different elevations, different weaponry. You got the AWP rattling off shots on one side, Magisk up on the top rope as well, boosted onto quad.
Faking B right now, hoping for a mid-over rotation. You can see Alistair scoped up. If that barrel goes too far around the corner, there's info, and well, that's more than enough. Dropping off, gets out of dodge in time. They've at least made the threat felt. But there's 2 players on either site right now, and time 45 seconds. So Grayhound will need to make a commitment here.
And it's coming through. Counter flash from ZywOo. Spinx to try and push on the back of that. Gets nothing on his initial look. Sicko spotted. Liaz forward. ZywOo quick on the AWP. Need another. Both down.
Fast flank here from Magisk.
Very quick. Sicko doesn't really have the health for the head-to-head. Caught on the reload. Immediate pressure applied to this plant. The retake on. Like Donkey Kong. dupreeh in tow. Magisk ahead though. Extended. Nicely isolated. ENCE. Just the right balance and concoction of forward and reserved. And look at this. This looks rather reserved from dupreeh. He's thinking it through, but not a wealth of cash to spare.
That'd be another clutch next to his name falling by the wayside here. I'm not sure how he's meant to break back into this. It just looks like damage is on the agenda right now. He's got the marching orders from Apex. Take as many down as you can, and they're going to navigate safely through the Ruins position towards CT spawn. And Grayhound will grab their 4th. Some impact there from the in-game leader of ENCE. Great stuff from him to get 2. That's going to get him up to 3 kills. But able to pierce that veil of top mid, right? That was the information. So they fake out B. The rotation from ZywOo comes through. They show a little bit of leg top mid, but it's the fact that they're able to trade efficiently as they enter into this B bomb site. So Grayhound did a good job in that round of keeping the defense quite split. They couldn't rotate ahead of the information. They had to respect what Grayhound was showing, and now they have to respect what is the bottom of the barrel for their cash. They force sport into this. They've got the FAMAS, they've got the MP9 alongside a couple of M4s and an AWP. But if Grayhound win this, Vitality are broken.
It's a big if. Let's see if they can manufacture some success. You've got to get through ZywOo if you want to get into B this round. Vexite's been having a tough time in these opening duels, especially at this half wall. Trying to use that smoke, but Spinx is perfectly poised to punish.
He should have them here.
Yeah, oh, he just averts his gaze. AWP shot hit, ENCE lucky and limping. Finish now. Spinx again on the multi-kill and through the wall. Sours the mood further. And that's the beauty of having an AWP like ZywOo. Yeah, floating around. Set him up, and ooh, Alistair feels like he's been set up.
It has to be the same again. Okay, that was very quick. Well, they're in. Got to do with Magisk now, and he's not going to be one to rumble. Apex has fallen playing for info as well.
Alistair, there's no way. He's not ready for Magisk, and so at least through his frag onto dupreeh and through Liaz's handiwork on that extension on B, he's got himself a one-on-one right now. Magisk is still on A, but it is up against none other than Mathieu Herbeau. Thinking it through. Shows presence B. Magisk will start to maneuver to lock the door behind him.
He's playing to contain, and this is really smart from Magisk here. A lot of players will just get on that flank. The fact that he threw that Molotov from the mouth of Banana tends to tell you, hey, I have a lot of wiggle room here. Liaz is quite overthinking this now. I'm not sure what he's meant to get away with here, and running knife out into a gunfight should fall. Magisk will pick him up, and the crowd likes what they see just there. So a round where Vitality were on the brink of financial disaster. Pull it together with a nice little spring of the trap. That was tidy work over towards B. The flash forward, the setup of Spinks and ZywOo. It's nice if you're Apex to have those two individuals to flash forward. There's the fade, there's the flash, and here comes the fight. This was beautiful work right there. Combination, just locking Banana down. And yeah, Alistair, you're likely expecting Magisk to be towards Pid or Sight in one of those passive roles, but in that type of a round, they were just scrambling. Yeah. The round was already considered. It was lucky that those kills were picked up and back down towards just some peppery pistols. This is direct, though, straight up the guts. Yeah, it's a quick smoke, and so dupreeh likely communicating a gap. ZywOo to try and address it. Good one on the spray through the smoke. ZywOo getting run on down, but absolutely no sweat on the brow as every shot connects, just on the corner as well. Shattered. A quickie, Grayhound sent back to spawn. Vitality extend their lead, 9 in the bank already, and this is the opponent's pick. Now the signs for concern for me are Vexite, who is at his first major. Right. He is a young buck. He's one for the future of Australian Counter-Strike. But he is the entry fragger, right? He is the man who needs to get in there first and open them up. And traditionally over towards Banana, he's been losing that fight, maybe gets traded. Sure, you can give the thumbs up there, but if he can get that opening kill and then go down and be traded, it'll be whole different rounds here. Safe to assume Vexite's seeing some things on these fights that he hasn't seen or felt before, and maybe like a double nade. Spray combines with the HE. Spinks and Apex making a very strong case for some redemption on their B holds. A very nice, delicate balance of aggression, utility, and synchronization. dupreeh got him. As easy as that, it comes his way. The round disintegrates again for Grayhound. Haven't had to do too much creative work here, Vitality, right? It's been quite standard in terms of the plays right here, and it's the little details for Grayhound, like that Molotov not being deep enough. That car molly that you throw, you want to make sure that it burns behind the car so players can't step out, right? That's the reason you throw that variation. There's lots of different ways to deal with that, but likely to see this one peter out for Grayhound now as fortifying this top mid defense. There's 3 players here. Two towards the long side. csgo isolates the killer to dupreeh, but the trade is there, and the final 2 will fall. Double digits secured, and Vitality looking to run away with this one. I mean, every time we look at that team cam, you know, there is no doubt in anyone's mind that the org is looking for a winning formula. The fact we've seen Spinks come through even when things were rocking and rolling, the fact that legendary names of Astralis were willing to put Legacy up for debate on a well, I don't think anyone can really disregard as a gamble. You didn't know if it was going to work. They are looking for that top spot, and well, it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. As you can see in the fact we're here at an elimination match of IEM Rio. Vitality on the ropes in the challenger stage. Yeah, Kassab was painting this would be great for their confidence if they can pick up a victory here and then take that into tomorrow in the 2-2 matchup. Now Apex, this would be great for his confidence. Backs are going to be turned. He's not a knifey boy. He's definitely not a knifey boy, but you'll see how many he can get here. He's going to hang around. The round right now is cooked for Grayhound. You are boxed in. Horrible sinking feeling in your stomach as he gets the kill. Oh, Liaz. It's a bit of freedom. Has actually solved the mystery. A blind stab in the dark, a quick dig down, second mid. Stops Apex's hijinks. We'll see that one from his perspective. Look at this, cracks his skull with a quick click. Okay, game on. Well, dupreeh's still quite forward in mid here. This flash over, Spinks spams. He doesn't even need to see his target. See you later, ins. Trying to get back to banana control, not on his watch. Can Liaz do anything more? The answer, a resounding no, dupreeh. No hesitation, 2 kills, 2 seconds. In this final round of this defensive Vitality half, looking set for 11. Has to throw his body to the line here, so the smoke to try and recover this bomb. But tag on through, and there comes the death. They actually have the supporting cast here today, Alex. Right. Concerning signs for Grayhound. dupreeh, 17 kills to his name. You've got 14 for Spinks, 13 for Magisk, and well then we get to ZywOo at 12, and the odds have blown out even further here. Grayhound getting the pistol round in that first half, not able to convert. Could have set themselves up with a nice bed of rounds here, but have now found themselves in a whole world of hurt.
It's the ideal weapon for the job, Sicko. Dual Berettas, spots out ZywOo, deletes ZywOo from the equation. A wide, wild swing with nothing to report, and it all falls flat upon arrival. Apex double, dumping util. INCE wants to try and take one away, but the flash does completely quash any aggression he was considering. Vitality saved in the same scenario on the first pistol. Do we see the CTs give it a go?
No way,
shake of the stick. Doesn't need to. Locked in now. INCE might be trapped. He's in the fade. Can't go anywhere but forward. And so he will. Back's turned. Spinks tapped. Magisk exposed and ahead. Deleted. If they can find Apex, it could crumble. And they have INCE. High impact now.
Has to sit
on the defuse. Dupreex has to be held at bay. Need to hit this shot. INCE. It's a high pressure scenario. Runs him down. And round goes Dupree's way.
Oh, finally getting a clutch is Dupree. That was very close indeed. Picks it up and continues his great form here, up to 20 kills, head and shoulders above the server. And that Molotov actually worked against Vitality here. INCE just ahead of the flames, gets himself a couple, but can't get the most important shot onto that of Dupree, and he'll pick that one up. Sitting pretty now, Vitality. The first half, walking up a hill now. Just rolling down the other side of this mountain. 4 more rounds required, and if they win this against the Grayhound force, they should come in quite quick succession. Next map is Mirage, and the third and decider, if we do need it, is Dust 2. So it's the most normie of map pools available in today's Counter-Strike landscape. And hedging their bets are Grayhound with a 4-man A lean, but Banana is where we're investigating.
Backside. Considering his options, he's got a lot to contend with, and he does want to stay ahead of that smoke grenade. He's already been chipped away. You can see just trying desperately to stop this from happening. Apex, caution to the wind, leaps through the CT smoke and may very well have just won the round.
Yeah, identified quite easily what that type of a setup was right there. The fact that they were just hoping to keep top Banana redeployed with smokes. Rek'Sai had another one available to his name, and then you could see how desperate he was. Like, no, if they get the info that we're not playing side, they will stroll on in, and Apex taking that big risk, pushing through the smoke, securing exactly that information. So, round done and dusted. Save of these upgraded pistols is the new mission for Grayhound. And it's not that a hunt is available, but take a look at the radar in the top left. They are quite close to one another.
I mean, you definitely get a sense ZywOo in on that Mag-10. Considering his options. Not really attached to this SMG. He's happy to throw it into the mix. And Spinks the same. It looks like, yeah, Vitality, they want to punish the CTs here. They want to take that armor, take that sidearm away, force those rebuys. Bomb goes in, and so do they. INCE will fall. Alistair holding his first, and yeah, we will see 2 extra frags sprinkled in for good measure. Spinks twisting the knife somewhat.
Yeah, and that right there is everything really coming to a close for Grayhound, right? You keep 4 alive, you get the double dip, you get another opportunity. And right now, well, that opportunity is somewhat squandered. It will have to be almost a full eco from the 3 who fell. The other 2, well, a Deagle round of 5-7 that have to get very fortunate positioning for this to net them much. There's a nade available for Sicko here. That could be well placed and soften them up slightly, but how are you meant to get excited about a round like this?
Yeah, and Dupreex doesn't look like he's slowing down. Just walking up top mid early, partnered up with Apex, and they'll just start their crawl. Good find into the apartments. It's close quarters. Liaz puts one into their head. Spinks will be low on that, but unfortunately for the rest of the squad, there's no one in a position to really profit. Alistair alone with a USP on A. Hopeless in this one, round 18. Already a certainty. Magisk just going through the motions, and yeah, ZywOo will do the same. Now, the map pool, we discussed it. We already outlined that in order to really have any sort of kind of viable, you know, not hyperbole hope for the Grayhound boys, it would have to start here on Inferno.
Yeah.
At this stage, hope starts to dwindle. Mirage is next.
The biggest positive is they get to start on that CT side of Mirage, but there's also the desks were a little bit quizzical seeing Mirage pick, so interested to see them explore that thought a little bit more before we do get into map number 2, but shouldn't be too much longer before we get there. The guns will be coming out for Grayhound now, but this would be quite the comeback. We need 12 rounds here to get this done in regulation, and that would be 12 consecutive rounds. So it's not impossible, just extremely unlikely.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that Dupree really did have his Weetabix this morning, I think...
He's been beating Australian teams at majors since I was playing. I just remembered. We played him back when it was still with Device, Zip. I think they were either called Question Mark or TSM back then. Maybe we were Vox at the time.
Right.
And we were playing them on train. It started well. We were 6-0 up. I had some great calls, and then I think we lost about 16-6. So it's quite a traditional fate here against Dupree.
But I bet you were loud as hell when you went 6-0 up.
But the first 6, mate, improvising strats, it was working well. But yeah, after that, not so much.
He's been at it a while, but yeah, I'm sure he gets like an extra elevation into his flow state when it's like, oh, I could be out in the challenger stage. When he wakes up and has that realization, and he's got, you know, world-class talent next to him of the next generation, he's probably like, I could probably pull my socks up a little higher. And he has done, at least here on Inferno 21. Spinks and Magisk just trailing that. Get to see the guns out now for Grayhound. Let's see how much of a wall they can erect. Again, they're hunting him down. ENCE has actually just been set up with a nice opener. ZywOo committing while blind, and yeah, deep banana control established. The CTs with a lot of the map territory.
It's actually a big bit of info right there if Vitality have been watching the demos, which I'm sure they have been. Matt and Zonic, the coaching staff, and well, Apex combined, should be aware that ENCE is more of the flex player. They like to start with Vexite and csgo over towards B. ENCE is there to help them set up. He's actually the one who's barreled forward here. So having an idea that it was this 3-man B lane, that was quite telling with the utility that came their way, but haven't been able to pounce off the back of it. Attempting now to flush out any rats in the system who are pushed on down towards this lower part of Banana. An exchange of flames will hold both at bay for now. It's currently 4 players over towards A, and I say that csgo starting to rotate back, but ENCE will find another through the boards. Magisk hits the deck, and the final 3 for Vitality will just have to slink up Banana together. The boost towards CT. There's one more incendiary in play over towards B. There's enough utility right now for Vitality to execute. If they trade efficiently, they can get into the site, they can get the bomb down, and they can set themselves up for a post plan.
Carpet bomb onto B. No pressure onto csgo as of yet. Here comes the push. He actually just gives the fight through. Good dink onto Dupree. Need a finish. ENCE maintains his elevated position. Should be good for at least one here. Spinks though too fierce. Need Alistair to finish what his team has started. Quick one onto Dupree, and now it's Apex that falls to this orb. Alistair doesn't quite get the round done. Gives Spinks a chance to fill his lungs with a new set of oxygen as 3 CTs head in his way. This has to be Greyhounds, and Liaz confirms it. And so, yeah, it got a bit sketchy there. It looked like it was supposed to be a bit of just a little putt into the hole, but it got a bit awkward.
Yeah, ENCE set them up there on the silver platter to convert that one, but it's always so scary when you see teams playing nobody in the site right there. With CT smoke and coffin smoke, and you're locked out. You're hoping to find those timings, and csgo couldn't, but Alistair could. On the fade, takes the fight. The bomb does go down, so another buy is well and truly available for Vitality here, maybe even 2 more. Now later today on the main stream, we do have Furia taking on none other than Gamer Legion, and that right there is to lock one of the 2 in towards that Legend stage. Furia, I think now are the Brazilian hope, and the crowd will be clearly barracking for them later this evening. 4 fast up second mid. This is smelling of something a little bit set, Alex, to punish that 3-man B start.
Yeah, ENCE is already on his way back through Speedway. Alistair forward on the AWP without the support. Liaz up in towards the boiler room. Loud Apex hasn't been heard. They will silently mantle through. So 2 slinking into Liaz's position. Big find. Good trade. Alistair needs it. Can't. It Spinks again. So capable of finding that second in the sequence.
And they still have so much utility right now to execute on towards A. B is still an option here as well as they just continue. Creep on forward in towards the site. Spinks has so much space, more space than he could possibly hope for here. The molly comes forward, he jumps on down. This is his kill every day of the week. He might get all 4 until Vexite chimes in. And that's going to be it. It's just csgo who has to save. That was destined to be done as soon as those first 2 kills come in. I wonder if Alistair's barrel got spotted there as well. Look, if you are going to play in that boiler setup, it's quite telling that there will be a player close haul. So they connected those dots very quickly, did Vitality. And csgo's gotten here towards the tail end of the apartments quite quickly as well, but we'll have to get past this orb.
Yeah, Zai was looking the wrong side, but he never lets that flick go. 15-5. Vitality quickly remind us that this first map is just a formality at this point. An 11-4 half, very quickly wrapped on up and tied up.
At least this one didn't start with, there it is, yeah, that's the second kill, more than ready for Alistair there. You know, and at that point, he's in no man's land. If he starts to dip back and they come out of halls and he's stuck in the middle of the apartment position. So neither decision would have been a positive one, but here's the big red button, it's been hit. Round 21, 15-5, the double orbs come out. Alistair does hit the opener, but so much damage done. Alistair and IN's quite low. They have to keep everybody alive in a round like this if they want any opportunity to get us to have a conversation of a comeback. Another orb strikes.
Both of them have filled the feed, done their job, given them the way in.
Well, they picked the right bomb site here again. Vitality looks like they wanted to head up middle. Only two players here. That's Alistair with his AWP and Liaz with the FAMAS in hand. Oh, actually, Zai heading back towards the B bomb site. Now, a couple of points of logic here. You might want to look for the heads-up AWP duel against Vexite, or when you know you're against orbs, it's quite easy to execute over, right? Those smokes we've discussed, that removes a couple of clean sight lines, and they still have 3 Molotovs available. They could really light this B bomb site up.
Just drive through. Now they know there was an AWP on B. Send Zaiwu in. Or don't even need an AWP for the AWP. It's Magisk who prevails up against Vexite. A nice tag onto Spinks, but pressure applied to B as well simultaneously. csgo just well to post on the MP9. Zaiwu does escape with the bomb. Spinks trying to continue to find the gaps on this A-long side. 25. And the odds just seemingly too stacked against them.
Yeah, fair enough.
You only need one.
And they are showing respect, right? They're not just going, all right, well, it's Zaiwu and Spinks. We can probably win this round, right? They're going, well, we need one more. Let's just get it done cleanly. That's fine. We can give them 6. It's not a close scoreline. Not at all. So there you go. Bit of a gimme here. Grayhound do stay alive for now, but this is one of those classic matter-of-time matchups. Or at least maps. Mirage still might tell a bit of a different story. Unfortunately, the upgrades not plentiful here for Grayhound. csgo did get himself an AK. Liaz retained the FAMAS. I'm sure he would have loved the Kalashnikov for himself. We'll be juggling some weapons across here, and understandably so, Grayhound with their last timeout to be expended. Kingfisher, the lad standing behind them. The final marching orders, trying to head down this stretch. 9 more.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. He's just going, right, boys, so all you need to do is just do that again. 9 times.
And you can count that on both your hands.
Thank God. Unless you're not a very good woodworker.
All right, well, what's the knockout blow from Vitality here? Feels like they could call whatever they'd like.
I'd be calling Zaiwu go kill. You know, those
the
ones.
Classic run-up banana with the AWP?
Yeah, go on. Give me one of them. He hasn't got the perfect spawn, and he's got Apex in front of him, so he's going to be charging in to throw that lovely smoke. He likes to leave a little gap on it and catch those CTs that play forward. Counter util good enough to at least delay it.
They won't be able to play for info here. His defensive smoke has negated any opportunity to try and play forward, right? They could stay towards sandbag, but they can be pop flash, they can be mollied, and it gets dangerous. So you can see a bit on their haunches here, Grayhound. And that has freed up space towards A. That Dupree with the bomb is investigating very aggressively. Look how far forward he is. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it might get a face fall. Oh no, just shy on the nade. Vexite confirms top banana still under their control. Retake smoke likely to follow. Liaz seems aware of the possibilities. Spinks with an extinguish, so surely ringing the alarm bell now that A is under a lot of scrutiny. Vexite's rotated through. INS as well considering it on Speedway. And Vitality yet to commit. They have got limited resources, but you've still got Zaiwu and Dupree with a full belt of utility. Whole squad gathered now. The congregation looking for action. They get it as well. Vexite got nothing done. Gets one before Zaiwu's AWP finds him. Alistair trying to maintain control. One on the balcony, not expecting this. Does snap into Spinks. Apex slipped through. Looking for the AWP now and delivers the headshot. Vitality a single frag away from taking this first map. csgo peeked through.
Alongside the likes of Faze and NAVI, and maybe even Liquid, if you want to be generous, as the top teams in the world coming into this event. And to see them down here in this 1-2 column, one
is
series
uncommon.
away. Yeah, precisely, right? So they found their sea legs. Dupree's definitely in the server today, so is Spinks, and we get this one underway with a B lean out of Grayhound. 3 defenders set their sights on locking down, while the rest of Vitality are actually whirring towards A. 3 members setting their crosshairs towards Palace and a ramp, respectively. Apex late through the underpass, and ZywOo top mid in case there's any pushes. Now, Apex has the utility. From this position, he could throw out an awful lot of nades. He could smoke off connector molly window and try and sell this as a B fake.
Exactly what he's doing. Mid-U info completely denied, and if you've stacked B, you're starting to lick your lips. You're thinking, I've got this right. csgo saying nothing here, lads. Nothing is being shown. It's about to change, though. Spinks slipping through as csgo's even rotating off. Apex, he's called a great pistol here.
ZywOo's in the power position now. This round is going to be very, very difficult for Grayhound to get back into if this bomb goes down.
I mean, at least csgo stuck around. He certainly going to have a lot on his plate and a hard fight to take. Big one out of ZywOo. That power position pays off as INCE and that short rotation cancelled. Bomb will be planted. They are starting to scarf her over through CT, but the headshots are being hit. Magisk on that P250. Long range up in the Palace elevation. One back. Apex caught off on his flank. Still a kit, still a smoke, still some hope, but the frag's likely to go Dupree's way. Ready and supported. Alistair there on the kit, tagged up and losing life and losing limbs. Liaz, all to do. Too many bodies and not enough seconds. A nice click though, 2 to find. He does recover the smoke in the kit, but that's the end of that. Vitality continue their winning streak.
You think about the chessboard of this map and the positions that were just taken there from Vitality. They had full window and jungle control. They had short control, which meant that the bomb could always go down open. And the rotation points for Grayhound were either finding a timing to go all the way through T-spawn, you wouldn't have been there to deny that plant, or get through this death funnel where you see Vexite's head get absolutely blown off. So it was really well put together, that pistol round from Vitality. Simple stuff. They had their waypoints, the little checkpoints that they needed to get to before that A attack could be secured. And a force for Grayhound, and M4 gifted for Vexite here. That's been dropped by Liaz. So a gift in the hands and some impact required, but nobody overstepping the mark in middle right now. It's csgo and Alistair to defend on A. Vexite will be able to chip in if the signal comes soon.
Yeah, and if csgo does mantle up and have a glance at Palace, oh, big frag to find. Vexite does draw blood for Grayhound's force fight. csgo dancing around with a 5-7, 2 from the pistol, and Liaz chips another into the ring. Apex is left alone. They can run him down, but of course, hesitant. Under-equipped. Now being hunted down, Apex will fall, and Grayhound respond with a force buy conversion. Nearly everyone contributing. It's the double out of csgo, the exception. And it's a powerful position on those force buys.
Yeah, that's a great round for them to put together here. Look, it's pretty flashy for csgo to turn around and catch them both coming down the fireman pole of the ladder. That looked ugly. And then this final kill into Apex, he has to leap into the jaws of 3 and some upgrades to be scooped here. So a little tech issue call, just a mic problem on the Grayhound side of things. We'll get that one ironed out before we get this back underway. But if you remember how map number 1 kicked off, Grayhound won the pistol and then lost the force buy. So they're doing their best Vitality cosplay here in the early stages.
Just talking it out. Crowd starting to fill out. Probably have their calendar reminder set for the next game. Live from the arena, we will get to see Furia taking to the stage, Brazilian Hope. And now setting its sights on them. And up against Gamer Legion, I mean, the discussion to be had, mate, that should be a bit of a banger, no? In terms of level teams.
As long as Gamer Legion doesn't have an off date like they did yesterday, which is what the succinct tweets that the gentleman put out after their loss to Bad News Eagles, who booked their ticket to the Legend stage in consecutive majors. It was a 0-2. You and I were covering that one, and Gamer Legion looked a little bit out of sorts.
Oh, different, definitely.
Yeah, 16-9, 16-7 on Ancient and Mirage, respectively. and nobody really hitting the ground running. If you take a look at the spread of the frags, you had at the top end 30 kills for Shui, and at the low end 27 kills for the likes of Kiels and Acor. So you can see that it was everybody. It's not like there was, you know, a couple of stars and one individual was missing. It was, as a team, they weren't able to find that form that has gotten them this far. But it's going to be a long fall if they're unable to convert today's matchup or tomorrow's, because they started this so strong. They found themselves in that 2-0 column. But Furia, indeed, they will have the crowd buff. They will definitely have the support of everybody out here in Rio de Janeiro. And their road, it's been slightly rocky. A loss to Big in overtime on Vertigo. A win against 0-0 Nation on Mirage. And then they toppled OG on Overpass in overtime as well to get them into, well, their first best of threes.
Yeah, evidence, though, that they can shake off a nasty loss. You know, we saw Drop in the interview afterwards when asked and questioned about Big. He just said, I can't keep thinking about it. It's not something, it doesn't pay me or benefit me to keep thinking about that, what could have been. So focusing on what they can, and that's, of course, Gamer Legion best of 3 coming through later on today.
And Furia are the heavy favorites. Don't get this wrong, right? We know that Gamer Legion have had their surge of popularity based off the type of Counter-Strike they've been playing. A lot to be said about Shui, Acor, and Co. But Furia are the favorite going into that matchup, but I think the way that Furia play Counter-Strike, collide that with Gamer Legion's approach, we could get a fiery affair. We did say the same thing about Bad News Eagles yesterday, and it didn't pan out that way, however. Yeah,
and if you want to keep tabs, of course, on how the next day of play will look as well, don't forget that the loser of that Gamer Legion Furia will be joining the winner of this one in that 2 wins, 2 losses, best of 3, last chance saloon for Legends. And we're back in tech issues resolved. Map 2 of this affair continues. If you did just tune in, what you may have missed prior to that was a successful second round force from the CTs of Grayhound. Vitality, the ones humbled down due to the deco. Armor, Desert Eagle, certainly packs a punch. These hand cannons, lethal to the head at any range.
Well placed. Just going to hold them at bay for now. No damage done, but slows this crawl forward. And on the fade of that smoke, Vexite, I'm not sure if you want to brave the jiggles. Oh, is that a miss throw here? That'll be a tidy way to find some legs.
Fix now. Frag on the top of it. Apex trying to find a gap. Vexite will punish. It's Zywoo's dig, one to be feared. Magisk having issues. It's Vexite. Good frags from him. 3 in this round on that Galil. Sends Vitality's hopes into tailspin. It is just the 2 of them. And yeah, best case scenario, Zywoo's hitting a banger and getting a bomb down, but looks set for conversion.
Yeah, that was the case as soon as this round kicked off with the type of buy. Because it wasn't utility heavy, it was mainly into those Deagles. Name of the game was hitting some bangers. Right now they've just been mashed.
Oh, I like that one.
And now they're giving the respect that is required here. They don't need to stand forward for the fights. They have a 2-man advantage. Zywoo is just looking for a plant here. Now if Liaz gets drawn away and takes a bullet to the back of the dome, and then force scooped up, we could have a conversation. But if he just goes down here to Liaz, we'll call it 2-1.
He's a hyper-aware player, but this time caught unawares. Liaz just sweeps through, sweeps away Zywoo, and yeah, Force left alive. That's the dream when the battle for Force by supremacy is had. Now I think they get a little moment of humility.
Yeah, this is the respite that they're looking for. Should be the easiest round of play for Grayhound so far across the 2 maps. A full eco. Not even a flash invested in here to try and enable a bit of an explosion onto either side. This might be the type of round where we do just see Vitality sit back and chill. Classic French tactical timeout. And also in modern Counter-Strike, with how the details have been refined, we're constantly talking about baiting out this CT utility, forcing them to reinvest, not just running into that wall and being slaughtered here. And if somebody does push, and the little beehive of Glocks finds a kill, that's damage done in itself. So in rounds like this, baiting utility, that's at the top of the list. The second, a kill, not too bad. And if you can get a plant, that's going to get the big thumbs up. As you can see here, they are just chilling very, very passive across the map. Of the B-Stream game going on as well. And it wasn't a 16-0 Outsiders versus Fnatic. Fnatic did manage to grab 1 round there. That is going to be a bit of a rough one as they move into map number 2. That is not an elimination game. That one is another 2-1 matchup. Winner of that will be qualifying into the Legend stage. And here we go. Maybe we get a fight. Only took a minute.
Yeah, we filled it beautifully, and I was just alarmed at that Outsiders Fnatic result. Looks like they're definitely still as resilient as ever. if not volatile.
I think Outsiders, this new version, I know it doesn't have your Kinder in it, right, which was one of the highlights. There you go, there's a kill. Backside goes down. So they just need to make sure they fall before time here. Getting a little bit whiffy. It's all right, he's very low. CZ75 comes out. ENCE will finish things off. Yeah, I like Outsiders. I like watching them play. I think that they've got a little bit more diversity in the way they approach the game. I know that not everybody loves the Jame time, but you understand why he does it, and they have some very explosive members, either residual like the Kick It and Flit editions, or the new boys Norbert and Fame. You can get excited about all of those names.
Yeah, and the reason to be excited about it is the fact that it makes sense, you know, in terms of all of the different decisions you can make in this complex, beautiful game. Outsiders to have as many opportunities as possible to succeed. Dupree taking an opportunity right now to try his luck, and Vexite wins his duel. This is an integral winning condition for the Aussies. He needs to get away. Sprayed on down. Trade is good. Alistair's bummed. No hope here. 4 HP, staring at the bricks, inspecting the cement. What do we call the little grout between bricks?
Grout.
Oh, I'd say
that's more for tiling. So you probably were right on cement. You probably hit the nail on the head right there.
I haven't done much brickwork. I didn't know maybe there was a specific term.
We need Harry the House renovator out here, don't we?
Yeah, he'd know, he would.
But this one here, 3-on-3, still an interesting round ahead. That AWP of Alistair didn't get to do anything in the underpass position. Could be found as this round progresses, but I think they're going to park Zywoo over towards the chair Delpan position in mid. Magisk in through Palace, and Spinks looking to join him here. There is a gap, an open avenue on towards this A site for now. Sicko will be tasked with walking down mid. In's rotating around to Ticket, and well, here comes Zywoo. Walks in, does it to the corner, but Sicko whiffs.
Ah, it's that position. I was about to say, Sicko, he backed his aim. He backed himself into a corner.
Round over.
And the round just falls apart. In a 3-on-3, he's going for a head-to-head duel, and he catches Zywoo unawares. Everything pointing towards that being a frag his way, and a tart of his tongue, I'm sure, as the round, follows.
Liaz is looking for this AWP that went down towards underpass. Should still be there. I think Zywoo is also aware of this prospect, and they know that Liaz is the B defender. So on high alert right now are Vitality. Immediately sending Grayhound back into losing ways with these rifles in the reinvest. But yeah, this was the kill on poor Alistair. You can see he was trying to bait a couple of shots, but he had the AWP. You're not going to bait a whole lot. The AK's got 30.
We have seen an upswing and an uptick in teams viably or regularly contesting that underpass early on CT.
Yeah, it's always curious for me. Was that the intention, or did he miss the jump trying to go towards the top rope in mid there? That's always a bit of a chit-chat. That AWP was not recovered. But that's the thing, you're committed to that position, right? The way back is to fight through middle, and you need all of your teammates to throw suppressive utility or try and help you out in that regard. And well, that didn't happen. So a great round there from Vitality. Draw this back to a one-round game, and they already put Grayhound in a precarious position. If it starts like that and they find a 3v3, as we do see the vent not broken, they're happy to forego mid here. That is very telling. Mid control garnered, Dupree, Magisk, and Zywoo. Creep on now. Announced. There was plenty of util behind that, and burning. Alistair, careful now.
He sees something, knocks the elbow off of Spinks. Right to the funny bone.
But they know where the AWP is, so the reposition immediately here. Apex has made the call for Zywoo at least to start tracking back through T-spawn. They have to be worried about a palace push or an A-ramp push. They haven't been holding on to that, but the next man up to the action will be Dupree.
He's got so much room here. A suspicious amount. And he does just recede. Apex calling the shots now. Trying to get his pawns in the right place. Part of that is Magisk denying info through window. The Flames will deny. No one home. Vexite is through ladder room. Alistair responsible for B in unison with Liaz short side. He's definitely the less guarded of the two.
Remember, the vent's not broken. Or neither vent broken here, so sound cues available on both sides of the server. And they do want to... One player, that'll be Spinks on the low HP, mounted. Vex, your barrel's going to be spotted here, young gun, and he's gone.
He wanted info, and he gets hot lead instead. Spinks still low, operating after Alistair's shot. Does get finished off now. Liaz on hot pursuit.
Way too quick.
Way too quick. Magisk gets a complete freebie, and the rest tumbles down unless Alistair can hold on to the round. He's got ins with him. Smoke to facilitate aggression. He's not able to deny. Oh, he's got the element of surprise, though. Oh, lets it go. ZywOo low. Alistair trying his luck. Oh, the no-scope. Suddenly it's doable. Not ready for stairs. Takes the fight. Magisk saves their bacon.
Close for a moment, wasn't it? But a couple of assumptions being made there from Grayhound. It looked like they had the better of that situation throughout. Vexite creeping forward, not ready for that maneuver whatsoever because he was up in the vent room the majority of the time, and then just as he starts to look for some info, that boost comes through. He gets punished. That no-scope was gnarly, but Magisk just punishes and secures the one-on-one.
I mean, there's a very viable probability that AWP is posted on your stairs peak. Magisk just takes it bravely. Now we've got some pistols. Running down ZywOo would be big, especially with the bomb, if they can get it cleanly. ZywOo's still kicking, still screaming. He will go down with the chip as they run him down. dupreeh here to sweep him under the rug. It's exciting for the Eco to have the AWP miss his first shot and a chance to perhaps, you know, get some weaponry in your hands, but yeah, dupreeh just too wise.
ZywOo understood the situation there very well. I will take you with me. I will die here, but you were coming into the grave with me, and that is how Grayhound followed. Those flames making things extremely difficult to get past, and a timeout called. Now, I do respect when Grayhound are taking these timeouts. They're not going into the next gun round, just going, hey, let's just play another round. They want to have a conversation, because this is do or die for them. One map against them. It would need to convert here to take us to Dust 2 as the third to keep their life at IEM Rio flickering. And right now it is fluttering. That flame almost gone. That's the thing. There will be the fourth team eliminated here in the Challenger stage. We lost Imperial and 0-0 Nation. IHC fell to OG earlier in the day, and well, Grayhound, the likely sacrifice required to keep these major legends alive on the Vitality side of the server, as well as ZywOo, one of the best to ever do it.
He's going to try and do it in mid right now. A bit of aggression. Vexite catches the nade. Oh, double to the gut. 26 points of health. That will take his, well, the pep out of his step. This is different. Reaction from Liaz, sound. Nade damage back, Vexite summoned. But that was all he wanted. That was all his master plan decreed, was just to show some presence.
It's crazy to me right now. If you look at the radar, there's nobody tending A at all for Vitality. If they pushed Palace or they pushed A ramp, they would have all the room in the world. It's 3 to 4 players in this mid corridor right now, and Spinks, who's just watching the B push. So there's so much space available for Grayhound, but they're not going to risk the waters. They're just going to sit back in this CT stance. Alistair close towards the A-ramp, insta-deal with jungle window connector with Sicko's crossfire, and Vexite hiding over towards B with Liaz. But so much space is taken from Vitality here, and now they boost the AWP up short.
Oh, it feels like a full noose has been established. Grayhound is trying to keep their neck tight and tucked. It's Vexite down, Liaz one. And it's done. B side open for business. dupreeh's got the dreamiest of flanks, and it may not even become necessarily
you can hear them saving already.
A flank as a hunt. You're not ready for this if you're Sicko, right? Crosshair's going to be anywhere else. Quick tap, body drop. dupreeh hasn't really let off the gas since he started over on Inferno. 2 CTs given the privilege of bringing their weapon through to the next, but this will be Vitality extending their T-side lead.
Well, that's, I guess, a kindness from Vitality in a way. Right? There's 2 different framings on this. One is the massive underdog of Grayhound in a matchup like this. It's one of the teams who are in the conversation to take the major here. And the other is, well, exactly that, a squad with names, household names. ZywOo and Apex have been here from, well, the beginning of the Vitality project. We've got some major winners in the server as well, with dupreeh, Magisk, and Apex combined. Spinks brought in to be the final piece of this puzzle, replacing Masuda a little bit earlier in the year. And this is the team who just won ESL Pro League Season 16, so we've already got some silverware in the cabinet.
Yeah, which is exactly what this organization is intention is. There's no way they're going to be satisfied with second place. The objective is domination, however, the competition is fierce here. We could be having another one of these half-buy victories. Grayhound already posted one on their defense, and now, well, thanks to INCE's start and csgo's follow, Vitality are running out of options. It is ZywOo and it is dupreeh. Vexite's found some confidence, getting some answers for the boys.
Kind of have to finish towards B now, considering how committed the bomb is, or it might just be another one of these saves, because we know Vitality, when they're in these scenarios so far in this match, have been playing it by the book.
Oh, INCE is playing a dangerous game. Even the 5-7 would be enough to take him down. Careful of the flames. INCE's going to have to respect that spread.
10 seconds now. Vexite will just be looking for this kill onto ZywOo here. ZywOo very aware.
It's worth a gamble. Crosshair, a little high. ZywOo unawares. Oh, and he catches it. Oh, he takes both on the hunt, making it as costly as you can. It's my AWP. It's my house.
And the smile on the face right there says it all. They came a little bit too easy for him. He'll take the exits. He'll throw those up to the tally now. 9 and 2.
Teammates are bleeding out. Alistair managed to elope back to CT. ZywOo concerned about T-side spawn.
Okay, that smoke is actually good, and dupreeh's going to drop a bit of a one-way here to work with, but it's all about the Apex Predator. He's come through the B-bomb site. How ready are they for this flank? Well, apparently not. Alistair now down. They know that the A-bomb site is completely open, and INCE, how long can he defend this bomb from this position on 22 points of health? Vexite needs to make the incision into the site.
He does, but Apex comes back round, clears through connector, and they will use their strength in numbers. And it looks like they've actually foregone that bomb hold. Not in a position, health-wise or numbers, to contest the scoop up of that bomb. Great timing. Catches Apex completely unawares, and now find themselves in a level pegging 2-on-2.
They might be questioning, is this back towards B, now that they know Vexite was here and the INCE was floating. But that's dangerous. Vexite steps forward. He saw one, surely.
Certainly. Only got 10 bullets on the mag, and INCE right next to him, just gives him the fight, and hope dwindles now. Don't have the HP. ZywOo hitting every shot he takes. Up to 12 now, 12 and 5. T-side open and having a blast. There's glimmers of opportunity in some of these rounds for Grayhound. This one, a nice recovery. Considering how it started, you really thought their days were numbered, but it comes down to this 2-on-2, and then just, yeah, ZywOo executes you.
But it's crazy how simple that approach was, right? Throw that new little smoke that we're seeing over towards the A ramp on the extinguish of the flames, you mantle up, you give yourself something to work around, and you can make it over to Tetris, because teams molly, and then they flash mid. And you saw exactly that in a round like that, where Alistair get caught off guard. Surprising to get something done. Oh, jump again. ZywOo will dare ya. Magisk will take down the push, so this is a lighter investment here. Magisk is just cleaning house over towards A. Vexite connector in short, and Liaz rotating back now. But a great start for Vitality here, and look at this, scooping it up with ease. This is them really starting to show their class here.
So a genuine question for you, Chad, is, you know, I mean, Grayhound don't get the opportunity to play a best of 3 against Vitality every day of the week, certainly given the ping difference. Not ideal for them. I shot out a Liaz, and the rest of them should have him after the jiggles. Spink's not letting that go away. But my question is, you know, you don't get to play all too much. 2 best of 1s and a best of 3 unless you're picking a win. Of course, we've got an extra game from Grayhound's W. But my question is, you know, am I overly romanticizing it, thinking that this is, you know, invaluable experience for Grayhound? Are there lessons to be learned from a demo of 2 16-8s?
Yeah, yes, and no. Look, this team has been together, at least with the core of them, for some time now. Right, where is that growth going to continue? What is the sacrifice that needs to be made? Once upon a time, the conversation was a little bit different. It's we don't have to be in Europe. As this window smoke, we'll return to this. csgo has a chance to do some damage here. Vexite running ahead of his teammates. He's down, he's out, he's dead, and yeah, so's INCE. So they're just going to get plucked apart here, one by one.
It's kind of like the Bad News Eagles approach if no one was hitting their shots.
Yeah, it also depends on what type of Counter-Strike you want to be playing, right? If you're not a team who's consistently in this circuit, there's a different type of CS that is played by the best teams in the world. The partner teams who are consistently on our screens week in, week out. They are playing the top tier level. And we talk about this now. This is why in best of ones, it's great for teams like the Bad News Eagles, Grayhound fall into that bucket, IHC, to get the upsets against the bigger names. And that is how you can really make a mark and a name for yourself at events like this. Now, once you make it into these safety nets of the best of 3, that's why we have them as the progression and the elimination. The ability definitely changes. The favorites, well, they become even more so, because they play the environment. This is their bread and butter, whereas the best of ones, it rarely creeps into top-tier Counter-Strike. Yeah, and depth, of course, component of any Counter-Strike team. You've got to be able to play the maps. Best of one kind of nullifies that element. dupree's got a double kill waiting. Oh, csgo, not bad on the 5-7 typically, but this time he's got nothing done. Apex has just farmed up a spray as well. Maybe Liaz could go unchecked and has managed to profit. One on the MP9. Apex surely going to be throwing some bullets down there. Orb fire enough shots. One back. Vexite good for the frag, but not the round 9. Farmed on up by Vitality at this point. They're coming in droves. Just bursts of 4 consecutive T-side rounds. Could be a 5th as well, considering what Grayhound have been having a bit of a struggle. In these last couple, it's felt like Grayhound, yeah, probably need a bit of a team talk. Even still though, right, they're so disjointed when they're fighting for mid. They're not able to trade off of each other. You saw how pedestrian it was in the previous gun rounds. Connector fight, short fight, window fight, just one at a time. It wasn't together, it wasn't as a unit, it was desperate. They were expecting to get away with an awful lot, and at this level of Counter-Strike against some of the best teams in the world, that's not going to happen. I think to continue to elaborate on that conversation is the crowd. And to smell that blood in the water here for Paul Grayhound is you have 2 choices. If you want to be a consistent Counter-Strike team and play in the upper levels, that's a decision you need to make, and that's going to be a grind and then the fundament and everything, right? Yeah. Doing a whole Gambit type storyline into now the Cloud9. Or you can be more of a gimmicky team, right, and have your own style and hope that you can break through with maybe 1 or 2 different gears. You can't have all of them. You're not playing against the best in the world all the time, and Vexite in the last few has been really dealt a dud hand towards Connector. Yeah, there's a lot of different looks for Vitality's mid takes. Sometimes it is just the stand and bang, and that's been appropriately punished. Vexite catches a glimpse of dupree, well aware that short control has been lost. Apex caught unawares. And no trade out of dupree. Vexite acknowledges the potential. It's just so much space on the map. I'm sure this is something the desk will discuss, but how easy has it been for Vitality to get this mid control? Rarely has there been too much of a fight coming their way that stalled them out. A defensive little molly there, just tickles on the other side of the smoke to make sure no one is playing on the fade, but csgo's forward position safe for now. If they regroup and want to try and finish towards B, the action will have to be on Liaz. ENCE is in the marketplace. Liaz over towards the bench position. You know, I think they're moving quick enough, at least to the point where you'd expect to see ENCE get into a crossfire established with Liaz. It's only going to be the 2 of them. The flank is the next component of this for Grayhound, and that block of the smoke is great, but looking to be disrespected here. ZywOo actually jumps forward into it. Flank's still coming, so finally a bit of initiative here from Grayhound. Yeah, 20 seconds. This is actually getting a little awkward now for Vitality. Frags and flashes coming in, though. It's up for debate. ZywOo flanked. Need this lethality. ZywOo slips through. Liaz good on the first. dupree breaks through short. They need to plant every frag a gift. 8 seconds. It's only dupree, and they pass the test. And that's a reward for their proactivity. But I mentioned, it was probably 5 or 6 rounds ago, that nobody is holding like this palace position or A ramp, right? The Magisk was there at the start in that scenario, but then gone pretty quickly. There's been availability for these aggressors, and you see all that information. A lot of these rounds, Grayhound have been playing in the dark. This is the first time that they've gone, hold up, we need to turn this light on so we can get the people in the right places. And operating with a double orb setup here for the final round, round number 15. One for csgo, one for Alistair. Both have done some primary orbing in this team over the years. Into the pop on the smoke, combination of the util. Alistair returns to this coffin he's found himself in before. ZywOo already pre-aiming it, which certainly would be rather scary. Apex, oh, he's going straight in. Just charging. So much pace. The flashes are good. Caught off guard. Ins with his knife out. Jiggling, trying, losing. Jules. Liaz needs a double. There's a lot to ask. Multiple elevated players, all peeking at it simultaneously, and it looks already like the outlook's bleak for this defense. 3 shattered defenders, separated. 1 back, and Vexite through mid. They do have legs now. Starting to use them to run.
Spinks and Apex. Apex already a bit wobbly, 25 points of health. Not going to make the world a difference if Alistair can hit the AWP shot. Vexite through short, and that's the combination. Forcing fight. Spinks to come up clutch. Bomb ticking in his favor. Knows where they were. Time has passed. Hesitant on the jiggle. Alistair lets it go. It's Vexite that holds on. And they'll end the half on a 6. That's a real gift. And it makes it competitive coming into our second half. Grayhound, they got something to hold on to.
Yeah, the question is it going to be enough? Grayhound one half and they could be eliminated from IEM Rio. Vitality looking to stay alive and try again tomorrow to lock themselves in for that legend stage.
Close.
Good bit of
Left side. Default. Nice, Matthew.
Left side, Matthew.
I flash city, stop!
Good play, Emil.
Nice.
Guys.
What up?
Yeah.
Elimination match. I'm joined by Sponge, and we do see a full stack of 5 Ts with intention.
Uh-oh, it's the dual Berettas on the B-bomb side in the hands of Zywoo here. Ask Maui, he reckons he's the best dually player in the world. Let's see, shall we?
Time to find out. They've even got the setup. Look at this trap. Apex to spring it. Oh, too quick. Too quick for Zywoo to get the support, but still finds the frag. Knocks the head off of Vexite. More from the dualies. He's just massacring Grayhound Gaming. More required out of Alistair. He does manage to stop him, and he's got 2. In very quick succession. Now 2 pistols to match his frags. But Zywoo, he's done, ooh, he spots Dupree, and yeah, that's the end of that. Zywoo just, once again, go kill, and ends the round off of the Akimbo pistols.
Yeah, it looked a bit awkward there on the timing, right? We saw on the cam Apex adjusting his hurts, you know, just going around there, and the fight comes in, but that's all right. You've got the Woo along your side. How many bullets did he have left before he changed it to the Glock? Come on, mate, you still had 3 bullets. What are you doing?
Yeah, he gets fully executed mid-air as well. Great work from Alistair to try and make something of it, but the damage was done.
The plant would have been the difference maker in the complexion of Greyhound's buy here. So just taking the full eco, we'll get the AKs out into the next. And Leapfrog, I think that one's called in Spawn. Oh, well, there's smattered experience at Majors here for this Greyhound unit. Had bit of a topsy-turvy year as far as organizations go. Renegades earlier in the year, then they went to Order, that went under, and now find themselves back under the Greyhound banner. Sporting those spicy colors, but yeah, you look at Vexite, this is his first major. Hopefully plenty more to come from him. I think that the world will be maybe one day impressed. There's some other names here that we've definitely seen throughout the years. Lee, as I mentioned, back in Berlin 2019 was with JKS as Jacob Gratisfaction Cassard as the coach. They made it to a semi-final. Real opportunity as well to potentially have made it to that grand final. Alistair, INS, Sicko, you've definitely seen them around the service for some time now.
And as you know, it's tradition with these underrepresented regions, it tends to be a question of just mashing all of the, you know, the cream at the top together and seeing if you can level up.
Well, they missed the window smoke there. Sorry, it was a molly. I think that's landed just a little bit short, a little bit shy. And they're sitting back very passive here, Greyhounds. So Vitality, just like on their T half, can have full mid control for what feels like almost free. This will help them piece this together to understand where the finish might be coming. Apex very forward on the B side of things. This smoke, it's going to be seeing the trajectory. They know exactly where this is coming from. Actually, he hasn't even been able to throw it. So poor Alistair being bullied before they can set up the strat ahead of the nade, and he should be going down here. He's pinned.
He's so dead. Molly lands and Frag does too. It's Magisk on A and does manage the spray nicely. Gets away with just 3 HP and into A. Zywoo ready to swing through. Will Vexite go with a bomb? This could be horrible. Never mind the 2-man disadvantage, but Vexite for now, flash through, needs, this frag, needs it cleanly and has done so. Zywoo taken out of the equation, a bomb plant would be nice, a frag back to maintain this jungle control. Priority now of INCE, Sicko. Dispatched to hold CT, where 3 find themselves, and very quick on the trigger is Apex. Puts it all onto Vexite. First major, 4 to find, or 12 is locked on in. Distracted by Dupree, he's not giving him the head he wants, and will try and slink through. The mood's starting to sour for Grayhound for sure. 12 is secure, and Yeah, I mean, to do it on the T side of Mirage against a team like this, I mean, the odds are just completely out of their favor.
Some cool cats in the audience here. Sunglasses inside or at night. It depends on how the song goes, but you're right. This is writing on the wall. 6-round gap is not going to be easy to draw back, and another timeout. So the plant was good. It does put them in the position to get a half buy going, but the chuckles of ZywOo, I think, really remind us of how easy this has been. They haven't really been able to apply too much pressure to Vitality across the course of these two maps. Vexite 16 kills, Liaz with 13. Alistair did have a couple of decent rounds. That ace is at least something for him to take home. But you're not here to get highlights, you're here to get W's, and Liaz's face is, well, not looking like a win at all. So they are going to buy.
Yeah,
They'll be lighter on U2 again. 2 consecutive quote-unquote gun rounds.
But very limited tools in order to just try and take this space. Well, they are at least going to be heading into mid. It's not going to be such a walk in the park for Vitality. Spinks with his protocol throws out the flame. And the nade, safe for now, no damage inflicted.
But what do you do with 2 smokes, a flash, and a decoy, and a minute 35 left on the clock? Sure, you've got INCE across the tap. What else do you have?
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of, you know, the same as we discussed the bangers and mash strategy. You need to be hitting the bangers if you want to make it mash with just the rifles.
And the thing is, you need to at least imply there's a threat to force them to use this utility. Otherwise, they can be stoic with it and hold on until the final throws. Now, that's a redeploy of the smoke towards connector. INCE, do you want to use this for your own benefit? Well, ushered across to window now. A nade.
Oh, Vexite. Pacey. dupreeh was caught unawares there. Crosshair in the wrong place, and a nice opening for Grayhound. On this campaign, no gap. Spinks investigates. He's got something just on the fade, a tiny little bit within the plume. Fading now. Alistair boosted up. I'm sure he'll clear it. Spinks, ooh, unawares as well. Grayhound, 2 to the good.
They're going back to A. ZywOo and Major still here.
Yeah, ZywOo's got nothing to report. Cursory glance from Magisk. He might take another one, and that's what he's been waiting for. Nice to get away. Keeps it as a component only for a moment longer. Magisk hunts him down, but they are committing into A now and have pulled Vitality. Strung out now across the site. Detached from it. Magisk, though, levels it up. These frags coming a little too easy at this point. 9 seconds. They need to plan, and it could just be contested. They're so distracted. He has got the bomb down. The frag comes through on ZywOo. Apex, though, good for what should have been one. The frag's converted, and Grayhound will build upon those 2 openings.
All right, might be the start of something here. Right, this is a difficult conversation to have, but the favorites are doing what the favorites should be. We're getting a good game of Counter-Strike from them here. This is a great kill from Alistair, but he goes so far forward and takes a fight that maybe he didn't need to. If they were always planning on returning to this A site, having the window and jungle control is a power position to have to help out your teammates. ZywOo was investigating middle, and then he got an open runway to be able to turn his attention. Regardless, we're back into it, round 20.
Well, you've got the nades now. It's not going to be so awkward, despite managing to make it work. More options available to them. Can't afford an early casualty.
Not a kit available here for Vitality, so that's at least something to keep in mind. They'll come back to haunt them here.
Yeah,
I'm sure Vitality would just go for another save if they lose the site, right? They've been by the book.
It's been a very apparent communicator of their passive nature is the fact that that bomb is still right where it started. All of this is not immediately going to build into a bomb plant. Territory to be taken. First nades are out of the gates. You can see window smoked as we see connector as well. Oh, perfect timing just before vision's denied. dupreeh, tight corner. Vexite trying his luck on the walkthrough. This is a lot of space if you can get through it. Magisk, oh, spots out by INCE, but that information goes both ways, and they can come behind. Vexite, huge round from him.
Here's that save.
And that's the save you discussed, but a triple kill round winner from Vexite. Puts himself up to 20 kills. He is comfortable today on Mirage.
Yeah, they throw this kid in there. He's very confident in his aim. There's a couple of clips, and sure, it's from down under, but he's quite whippy. He's hit some crazy spray transfers or flicks to the dome. One that I've spoken to JKS a little bit about, and he sees the talent in this kid. And if he's able to get that room, right, he's entrusted with that. So he has to deliver something, right? If he goes out there and dies and you go, well yeah, he died. No. they have faith, and he has faith in himself to be able to try and pull off maneuvers exactly like that. So a nice round here. They do draw it back to a 4-round game. Vitality, you'd have to really drop the ball here to give this one over. 2 staying alive. Apex with the ability to drop an M4. So I'm sure a conversation to be had, and maybe Zonic wants to get on the mic now. Yes, he does immediately. A tactical timeout called going into the freeze time of round 21. And this would be deciding what the best option going forward, because the flow-on effects, if they decide to shove all in right now, could be felt, and Grayhound get up to double digits. They win that next gun round. Okay, we have a 1-round game. Loss bonus still starting to build here for the CT side. Only 2,400 going into the next. But this is it from Vexite again. A tidy one onto ZywOo top ticket, playing the smoke. Being cheeky with that. You can come out either side. You create yourself 2 avenues of attack right there. You see it work to absolute perfection, as we do still have bums in seats here. Enjoying the counter-strike. I'm sure they're actually just getting the front row position for the Furia game.
That's coming up soon.
All right, well, is this the fire starter for Grayhound? Vexite's 3-piece feed, is that enough to get the boys going here? With their approach, it's hard to be mega fired up, and they're actually going to boost over this.
Grayhound, gonna be caught out by it. Alistair's gotten away with that. Would have loved some lethality with the 2 rifles in play. Your first connection, it's just not quite enough.
They are going back towards A, and that is a stack right now. This is very interesting indeed right here. This position, this boost, you don't see this very often, if at all. So curious to see how Apex is going to utilize this and what the execute is going to look like as U2 is being lined up here. Liaz still over towards B apartments. Vexite has highlighted tap in mid. That's part of their default, the way they scale across to get this mid control.
It's a bit of a flex from Apex as well, isn't it? Using ZywOo as a footstool.
Well, the key here is if Apex goes down, guess who gets to pick up that M4?
Right, yeah, it's a vending machine. Oh, you can see, yeah, he gets like just the tips of the head on ramp crawl. And well, they are coming his way, so let's see how well he can utilize it. Contingency plan in place. You can see a perfect line of sight for that Tetris jump up, and it's passive, but it's avant-garde. First down into the site now. Should be patient about this. They've got 38 seconds. They have a distinct weapon advantage, and Dupree's doing a lot through that smoke. No tracers. Down goes Apex's rifle. ZywOo falls into his hands and immediately meets Alistair's AWP as well.
Very low HP here on Liaz IN's Alistair. Magisk just wants to save, so that won't be discovered, but Vexite might be able to cut him off with a pass here, as Magisk is trying to make the way away to hold on to this rifle. He gets found, and Vexite will convert for the 21st, but that's a standard round. You're happy with that, you put it in your back pocket and you say, good work. Vitality on the other side go, hey, it was 2 saved rifles, we took a risk, we took a chance, it didn't pan out, but let's give this one another crack now as ZywOo will equip himself with the big green again. And the question mark, does Vitality start taking a few more, when I say risks, I mean initiative? Do they start taking the fight in the direction of Grayhound here, isolating these extremity players, or maybe even barreling up the guts?
You'd rather do it now than if it does, the gap does close, right? I mean, in terms of calculated risks.
This is looking very standard again. Sphinx connector, ZywOo window, Dupree shore, Apex and Magisk locking down their bomb sites as the anchors.
Sphinx wants them, he knows there's one back there, courtesy of that sound cue.
But you see the simple nature of that little chess game. We molly this position, if there's a player there, he has to extinguish or step wide. That understanding, everybody has it. So whittling through some utility that Grayhound would love to use for a later round execute, but still 3 smokes, plenty of mollies, and a whole bunch of other goodies to their name as the window redeploy. And now Vexite on the crawl again and able to look for fights. This time bench, name of the game. Towards window, gives up his position.
Wow. Balls on him, gets the smoke down, despite knowing that those smokes are fading. He's actually going for a window boost hunt. Apex, the sound heard, but knife out, and big one from Vexite. Into the enemy back line, and taps the head of Magisk. That is not a duel that favored him, but he makes it look easy. With Magisk down and into it in shots like that, Grayhound could be on for a flawless T round. That gets a little scary. The first crack in the Vitality machine starting to be visible.
And ZywOo's locked. Liaz still over towards B apartment. Backside over towards the market position. ZywOo is going to have to fight his way out of this if he would like to retain the AWP. And we've already seen him get a couple of exit kills from this position, but the barrel spotted shot here, of course, he flicks into that. But now they know where he lies. The cavalry's coming. INCE and Vexite on the hot pursuit to finish this one off.
You just want him to have nothing. Take it all away.
They can throw more bodies at this. They have a lot of cash.
And they've got all the time in the world. That bomb's still ticking. ZywOo knows his days potentially numbered, but he's so damn quick. He refuses to give up this weapon without a fight. Dumps the util and hides in plain sight into the smoke. Someone's going to spray you. He's hiding. He's trying all the tricks and down to INCE. A valiant hunt, and they know what it means. That means an awful lot, considering that we're starting to see the scales level up. You take away any advantage you could have in the face of defeat.
It's crazy there, the timing as well, that Vexite gets into that window position. You could see that there was no consideration for that whatsoever. And Apex was close window. Surprising he didn't hear the jump. Maybe he did and not expecting it, but look at that. I think because his teammate was pushing up short to glance on down, it was that perfect timing I was illustrating that caught them off guard. So just a tiny gap, and it caused a big issue. A half bite from Vitality here, a scout, the highlight of this in the hands of Apex, a signature weapon for him. But these Deagles, they do pack a punch. And this would be a punch straight to the gut of Grayhound if they don't convert a round like this. The hard work has been done to set them up. Being very diligent. That molly, with the intent to clear out any jumps down towards the underpass, has done its job. And you can see Grayhound playing this one by the book, sitting back in this default stance. But the B gamble stack is in play, and this boost onto the box, especially with ZywOo roosted on top, could be very scary if that's the finish.
And if you do have your finger on the economic pulse, if you're aware of what Vitality are likely equipped with, you can start adapting a bit more of an investigative strategy. You know, send out those feelers, see what resistance happens when, and then make that educated commitment. Flash towards Magisk, and he doesn't fire a shot, doesn't stumble, miss
Couple of miss smokes here, and that's an easy one to throw as well. So some oopsies.
Here we go. He has his chance and lets it go.
At this point, Vitality should give this a go, right? They definitely should rotate back in time, because Grayhound have been quite late on this. If they're late into the site, they still have to clear everything. Default, triple box, ticket, connector's a problem, jungle, sandwich. Vitality will be here in time, and if they deny the plant, they can still win this round. Sicko's low, and he's the one with the bomb on the back.
He has to choose his plant spot wisely. Uncontestable by ZywOo.
They've given him the opportunity. I thought Vitality would really try and get stuck into this. And damage isn't going to do a lot. There's plenty of cash in the coffers. They're just going to get peeled apart. Vexite continuing to put on a show here. I know it's eco bashes, but still, it's sharp. It's headshots. 25 and counting. Yeah,
I mean, 25 frags against Vitality is always 25 frags against Vitality. And that's something he can definitely put in his pocket. It would feel a whole lot better if it was a component in the victory, though.
Looking for more here. Has spotted Spinks. It's ZywOo seeing if he can find anything on the way out the door. Bomb about to go off. Shot whistles past. Liaz noted to his presence. But it's a one-round game. And now we've got a little bit of spice. This one's on. It's hard to deny that now.
Yeah, I'm sure Zonic might want to be having a team talk shortly just to try and screw their heads on tight.
Here's those shots again, so you can see the tap, tap, tap away from Vexite here. Gets it done eventually. A second, a whole lot tidier onto Apex there, but you smack bang in the middle of that call, Alex. Another timeout called from Vitality. Their second now exhausted, and giving the opportunity for Kingfisher, a baby face right there, to chime in. It's quite a stark contrast when you consider Zonic on one side of the server and the big fish on the other.
I think Zonic looks like he could be Kingfisher's dad.
Actually,
probably not far off.
Could be the case.
But either way, both given the same task and the same set of time.
Double AWPs is the change-up for Vitality here, moving into the next gun round. And considering the slower pace at which Grayhound have been approaching some of these rounds, it might be the way to make the incision into this default spread.
Yeah, certainly would have been a nice reminder if Kingfisher did just say, hey, they might try and throw a double AWP at you. Keep that awareness. Don't be doing anything too dry. Lots of smokes. My God, I'm
making a B split.
I missed one in the window, but 4 total expended towards early fight on mid.
I'm curious as what they're expecting the reaction to be with something like this. You would hope that the defense would rejig and try and back up the B defense, but they've tasked ZywOo with locking down that side of the map. They're not going to worry about sending too many bodies to help this man out. Absolute superstar in himself will flash himself forward. Take an inquisitive glance towards the B absent, not see a whole lot. So Grayhound were expecting an overreaction based off that fake, but nobody's pushed. Nobody's taken a risk. This is a very, very passive default.
The opening 45, 50 seconds, no contact whatsoever.
One of the keys as well is there's not a whole lot of utility to block Grayhound when they do decide on a site finish.
Could get uncomfortable if they do take too long on this mid walk.
The split into an AWP up short, Alex. There's a shooting gallery for Zyru made available here.
Yeah, it's the Vitality gift. You can just park him on the site. And 5 charging into him. 1 bullet, 1 kill. Another opportunity gone away. Rotates on its way. And only 25 seconds. Catching Spinks on the rotate through. Cut down on market. Zyru still lives on. You have to get him off this site. You have to kill him now. Everyone around Zyru is falling, but that's the bomb carrier. He's doing everything for Vitality on his own. Zyru is the problem. And he's causing all of them for Grayhound Gaming. Completely shattered. Everyone arriving on the scene. Just a distraction as Zyru picks apart Grayhound Gaming.
Oh, finally put a stall out to this. That was 5 consecutive rounds, and then Zyru just dancing around the site gracefully. Didn't feel under pressure whatsoever. And this is the fact when you have a player like that in the server and you can entrust him, right? You see there a bit of a huff, a bit of a puff. He knows that there was an opportunity, but he steps up to the task and delivers yet again. I'm curious to see if Grayhound want to go with that same approach. Last time out burned here. That was very passive. They were expecting such an overreaction from Vitality there, and they gave them nothing. Everybody just sat still after that fake. It wasn't threatening. There were no bodies put behind it. There was no information gained from Grayhound. That bluff, it was called.
But now you are operating with the information, or are you? Actually, did Dupree's secondary AWP even get a look at? Perhaps not, but either way, Zyru single-handedly on B is a little suspicious.
Dupree did get a kill in that round with the AWP, so it is noted.
It's been seen.
But in that case, set piece execute means Vitality might understand exactly that. Hey, they note this. Make sure our setups are either strong sites or retakes as they move immediately into an A play. But look who's here.
You got to get through Zyru. An immediate frag. Charging straight into the beast. Into his jaws. He chomps down 2. A third taken a little too spicy. Seco does deliver the frag, but everyone else is gone. ENCE up against the world, up against Vitality, looking to extend to 14 now. And that's how the best AWPers feel. You're playing against them, and it feels like no matter where you go, that AWP is there. Look at Shiro, look at Zyru. They can have a whole half where every time you're making your commitment, they are there and they are a problem.
He's been a massive problem now. 5-0 in terms of opening duels. He's got 8 multi-kills. Just having a classic Zyru game here today and getting Vitality into that next round of play. A 2-2 matchup. Nobody thought they were going to be here, but ENCE, okay. This 1-on-4, maybe it needs a little bit more respect. His position is on lock right now. Magisk is going to catch him off guard. I think ENCE jumping around the corner. Did he catch a glance? Did he hear a sound? Yeah, he did. And a good finish from Magisk. They will secure this, save that AWP. Now, there's plenty of money available for Grayhound. If they win this, here we go again. Let's just bask in the glory of Zyru here. No CT smoke. They weren't expecting that at all. And the fact that he's one round B, the next round A, okay, well, I guess he's going to be mid now. Where are we meant to go? How are we meant to call around this guy?
Is there a C we can try? Zyru seems to be on the first 2 letters at the same time. I'm interested to see what, you nailed it. He's actually been sent to mid this time.
Would have thunk it.
Yeah, let's see what happens. They are 3 mid, but he is smoked off, so that will buy some time. Spinks surveying the Savannah up top as well. The 3-man mid hold. Dupree's already got one spotted out. They've isolated ENCE. No one can help him. You'd love a flash. He gets nothing, and he's surely condemned. 1, 2 out of the AKs, or rather M4s, now retreating, seizing the advantage and maintaining it. Oh. 1 to the toes.
Wasn't even a leg shot there.
Just taking a couple of ligaments out of the knee. Tough for Sicko now. Oh, Magic is so proactive.
Big shot.
Sphinx is down and out. Quickly found.
They've given themselves something to work with here. Liaz's still alive. Normally, the B defender on the defaults. It's Alistair from the Palace position, now trained towards connector. Takes a fight. Liaz opens the door on this one. They know where Zyru was. Alistair has to hit this shot onto Apex if they want any opportunity. He's spotted him out now.
Yeah, but he's committed still to the Palace position, so Apex still has info. If he has to go around the world, Zyru will be waiting. And this is the perfect position to be in. He's responsible for B, but he can also contribute should any action happen through that mid-avenue or on that deep cross to Apex position CT. So the setup's strong for the 2v2, and with 30 seconds left, they might make noise. You can see that ZywOo's ear pressed to the wall. It works tenfold to get that information and to have that teammate as close as can be. Awkward timing now, and ZywOo's staring at you. It might be another one where ZywOo is the main problem for Grayhound Gaming. Just finishing this with individual brilliance, hunting him down. 10 seconds and he's just hiding in the smoke. He knows his win conditions all the time, running him around. Oh! Now, Alistair gets it, but not to be. ZywOo, his best play, his best course of action is shanking you with a karambit.
Yeah, pulling out the knife there, really showing you just how to get this one done. 3 consecutive now, make it 4, and this one is all over Red Rover. Grayhound 1 round away from being eliminated here, and just how desperate it is with the time on the clock. About to say goodbye to our 4th team here at IEM Rio, and Vitality will be keeping themselves alive. Out window aggression from ZywOo now. He wants to finish this one right here, right now, but ENCE wants to keep it alive. The double from him sits down Spinks and ZywOo, the heavy hitters for Vitality. They have to sit and watch.
Unless dupreeh can recover. One, bang. ENCE still present in mid. dupreeh aware he's got a lot on his plate, and the molly will kind of lock him in there. Using that smoke sound cue is heard. Magiska's caught Sicko elsewhere. Magiska's just completely flipped the script. They tried to walk out A. Vitality now 2 frags away. ENCE continues to be resilient.
Might have to do it all here.
3 kills to keep Grayhound in it, to keep them in the Rio de Janeiro Major.
They overthought it last time in this 2-on-2 situation. This time they don't even have the bomb on the back just yet. Alistair now, I think that penny has dropped. They need to pick that package up and get a move. And ENCE sending the feelers out towards the B bomb site here. And this was their graveyard in the previous. He has a lot more leg room this time round. And if Alistair follows through and they just jump on in, they can get the bomb down. Remember, cash isn't good for Vitality here, so another round of play likely. And again, overthinking things. Boys, just get stuck in. You're taking so much time. You're giving so many opportunities for Vitality to reposition. They'll be hearing echoes of this over towards the other side of the map.
Fearing ZywOo in every corner. You know, they can almost visualize where he is and how he's going to ruin their day.
Yeah, you can see that, like, the type of clears from Alistair as well in that scenario. They can go and identify this AWP for ZywOo. Now, that was the change. ZywOo deciding to barrel at them in middle, and time again, we've seen Grayhound get that space. But Vitality by the book once more. They understand it's just 1 more round needed. And a big round for the in-game leader of ENCE here. 3 in total, and that was the only 3 required. And that was just as the cash has been exhausted from Grayhound, and rightfully so, with it potentially being their last round of play. So they hold on, but they will need 3 more of those if they want to take us to overtime here today.
They did post 5 consecutive T rounds. There is evidence, they've proven to themselves, they're capable of attaining what is set out before them. First in the tally, inscribed. 3 more required. In back-to-back fashion, to wipe the slate clean and take it into overtime. Vitality, a couple of options before them as to when and how they plan to find this final round.
Surprisingly, no timeout. When they're in a similar situation before, they took a timeout, discussed their options here with the cash. They've understood the financial situation here, and they've actually quite heavily invested. There's slight residual cash, sure, but if they lose this round, it might just be another partial. ENCE flash it forward this time. Magisk will find that opener, and that might be the first nail in the coffin here. Vitality to secure the opening kill of round 28. And with how slow Grayhound have been in a lot of these scenarios, there's a horrible feeling in your gut.
Yeah, just a boulder in your stomach. That sinking feeling. You've still got 80 seconds, but your entire major hopes and dreams hanging in the balance of a 4 versus 5 disadvantage. Alistair begging someone to peek, and they do. Apex, an inquisitive knee posted into the scope, and ZywOo with the counter doesn't actually find lethality. Alistair cannot believe he's still part of this game.
They need to spring to action now. They need to take some space, and they tried. Magisk is there again.
Can't believe he posted the opener like that. Just straight raw dogs him down mid. Awkward now for Grayhound. Smoke implies a commitment to short. Still presence in ladder room. They're not looking. They're not looking. Knives are out. dupreeh sending Grayhound home. Packing their bags for them. Will Alistair have anything to say? Can he remain stubborn? I mean, the bomb's not with him. The crowd is willing Vitality to finish this now. Everything is held.
He doesn't have time for this.
He doesn't have time. And what's he supposed to do? He has to give it his best. He's a competitor. He doesn't want to just let it go. But 15 seconds, the whole squad staring at him, and it's locked in.